Healing crystals, skincare routines, knitting a sweater, fitting in jeans. With Katie and Sarah, no need to worry, you're on a lady journey.
Anyway,
Lady Journey. So I was telling you about this our last session, but I had been like having some issues with my gut health, I think. And I was like, is it candida? I was like,
What is candida again?
Candida is when you have an overgrowth of yeast in your gut. So it's like, I wasn't getting like yeast infections necessarily, I would say, but like a lot of times when I was eating like sugar or even having like 2 drinks, it was like not my, I was having, let's put it, digestive issues. Okay. And you can glean what you like.
Be creative with that.
Yes. So I was having like some digestive issues, and I was also craving sugar all the time.
Once you start, you can't stop.
It's like crack to me. And I didn't want to do like, I hate doing restrictive stuff. I hate it. I hate it
too. But this week I had I guess intuitive eating, but man, I really fucking went overboard.
I know when I do intuitive eating, I'm like, I guess my body needs cake. Is that what my body's telling me it needs? Donuts?
Yeah. It must have what it must want.
Yeah. I just have to have it. I started taking probiotics, and I took an expensive one. And again, I think my gut health was getting impacted by my birth control, although I have no basis in science for that.
But this is what I think most people do. We all do it. We're like, you know what it is? I think it's I ate this muffin yesterday.
I know it was that muffin. I know. It's so true. I had like an upset stomach 2 weeks ago, and I was like, it's either fried chicken. I either had fried chicken or it was this entire bag of raisins I ate, but I don't think it was that. Mike's like, maybe it was the entire bag of raisins you ate. I'm like, well, I love raisins though, so probably not.
From nature, so I don't think so. What are you, a scientist?
Yeah. Sorry, I don't think you're a doctor.
Like Joe always tells me whenever he has a creative stomach, he's like, I think, and he creates these combos that he had, and I'm like this. I love that you're deducing that it's you ate fries and smoothies is what made you have diarrhea. Was the perfect combo to set it off.
Oh my God. Well, I started taking, I got it out of my mind that I was like, let me just try some probiotics. Because I did try some a few years ago. I was getting like a chronic UTI, and I know that probiotics are something that helps with that. So
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm prone to those.
Yeah.
And yeast infections, not to tell you guys what's going on there all the time.
Yeah. Well, you got to try these. You got to try these probiotics. I'm telling you, I was like really hesitant because I remember, a few years ago, it was like a big thing where it's like now everybody's taking probiotics. Like,
yes.
And then there was also more stuff that came out that was like, probiotics aren't like, first of all, they're kind of snake oil. Like you're paying like $50 and you're just like taking this thing. But I went to, and then I was like, I don't even know where to get probiotics. Like, what do I have to go to Whole Foods?
Yeah.
And I just found myself at CVS, and then I just had this kind of like educational moment where I was like, okay, probiotics are now everywhere.
Yes.
Everybody has probiotics. So I was at CVS. I almost got the Ollie brand because I was like, I'm a sucker for packaging.
Yeah.
But I had my phone out, and as I'm doing, like when I go around CVS, I'm like Googling everything. I'm like, I got this kind called Chirel for women. It's a probiotic for women. So it's supposed to help like balance the pH of the.
I'm gonna do a probiotic.
It's a little expensive, but I decided to go. That's my like tagline for everything. I'm like, well, it's kind of a lot.
Yeah.
It's $4, but no, it is $30. So it's like, that's kind of a lot for like medication. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try to do it to just see. And I read the reviews. The reviews were good. People were like, this probiotic changed my life. It changed my life as a woman. And, I was taking it every day, and then I fell off a little bit because I forgot it while I was traveling. But I was taking it every day, and my craving for sugar plummeted. It went way down, and that's one of the.
Wow.
That's when it said, like, when you have candida in your gut, the candida actually makes you crave sugar. So it has like something, the way that it can interact chemically with your body. It can make you crave more sugar because that's what it feeds off of. So my sugar craving went way down. And I think my stomach, I've been having like totally like healthy stomach, healthy bowels, everything since I've been taking it. So it's been like a really awesome discovery for me.
I'm intrigued because some of the symptoms that you're talking about is something that I do regularly deal with, and I just thought that was life.
Yeah, you're like, that's just life. That's just life.
I'm always in a slight discomfort.
Yeah.
But it's never like crazy, so I don't ever do anything about it.
Totally. And then you're also like, well, who knows, like with the vagina, it's like anything goes. You're like, that's it. That's what it is.
I know. I just got a new, I've started going to an OBGYN. I've always just gone to Planned Parenthood, and now I have insurance that I'm like doing all this.
Good for you.
But it is like, I get so embarrassed when they're like, ask me about my sex health. And this isn't my joke, but I remember Janine Garofalo years ago she's like, I kind of have a don't ask, don't tell policy with my vagina.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
as long as it doesn't do is bothering me, then I don't deal with it down there.
Yeah. I think a lot of women are like that. And then, and the thing with probiotics is so new that it's like, this is brand new science that they have. This is brand new science where they're like, oh, the microbiome is like a thing that's like 10 years old.
That's so crazy in health stuff. It's like we deal with this every 5 years, you know, or remember like you have to swish coconut oil in your mouth.
Oh yeah.
It's,
oil pulling.
Yeah. And now we realize that's bullshit.
Yeah.
I still hear, apparently people, like put mayonnaise in their hair and they're like, it's really good. But apparently the oil and mayonnaise, your pores in your hair are so small that it can't even soak up any of that oil.
Oh, the mayonnaise myth. It's all white people doing that too. They're just proving the stereotype true. Like, what's that smell? It's my
mayonnaise.
hair mask. I made my hair into an egg salad. Is that weird?
I did it once and it was horrific.
Oh, I knew someone that did it once, and it was like, why is she would do it like every week, and it would just be like, your head is shiny. It's not right. You have to go by your own intuition, and it's so hard with like anything inner body stuff where you're like just creating mythology in your mind. Like
all the
anytime
time.
I was like making up that, and I was saying this the last podcast. I was like, whenever I eat wheat and walk like 10 miles, my ankles are swollen. It's like, meanwhile, I like walk 8 miles a day because I just don't take the subway anywhere.
Yes. Like my old roommate would say, oh, I can't eat red meat. It makes me angry. I'd be like, Lucas, I don't know if there's any science behind that, but like your body, your choice. Like
Totally.
if that's what you think is happening, go do it. But when you say it out loud, like it sounds hilarious. There was also, wasn't apple cider vinegar like the thing for everything?
Yeah.
I was pouring it on my head.
Oh my God. Yeah, just dousing yourself. That's so great. That's like the champagne, the like crunchy champagne music video. You're just
it was
spraying it on people.
And that one also smells really bad. And I didn't really feel any benefit. Then they're like, put a little capsule in your water every day. And it just tastes like you're drinking salad dressing.
Yeah, we do that one though. We do
Yeah,
it. And it does.
Does it do anything?
It helps you with electrolytes.
Okay.
And it also is probiotic because it's fermented.
Yeah, because it has
the
that
mother. It has the mother.
And who
knows
the mother?
what the mother is? I don't know. I just like to bring it up in conversation. I'm like, oh, the mother.
That's what when I'm like, mother, that's who I refer to. Is
Mother.
The mother and apple cider vinegar.
That's so funny. I love that we're like going on like food trends that are like ridiculous. And I'm like, actually, that one's mine.
Don't take that away from me.
But yeah, it does taste like drinking salad dressing. And I will do it.
Well, the thing is, I feel like even when I'm doing it long term, I don't really feel such a change in anything that it makes it hard for me to believe. If a doctor cut me open and it was like, oh my God, amazing, then I'd be like, okay, then this is what I'm doing.
Pizza.
Yes. Well, remember the celery juice?
Yeah.
I did that. Joe and I did that, and it was so much celery we were going through. I was like, we're going to have to get our own private purveyor of celery to do this. And then that turned out to actually be like something where like you had to drink an insane amount of celery to have any benefits of it.
These health fads are like, it's the thing to do, and then it's like, oh, that's actually the worst thing for you. You know, it's like the ultimate cleanse.
Yes.
Or what? That sounds like Hitler. What? The master cleanse. Yes. Which also
sounds like Hitler.
It sounds terrible. The lemon juice, maple syrup, and cayenne pepper. Yeah.
Is that
That's it. And you just do it for 10 days or something.
But even that, like, I don't even know if that's a legit science.
My roommates were doing it in college, and then one girl, it came out that she was just going to Chipotle. Like, she was doing a Chipotle cleanse. She was just going off from the group and like getting Chipotle.
Love that. I remember one time I would get like a little bit of, I call them potato chip cut sores.
Oh, yes, yes.
But it's a light cold sore on the side of my lip.
Yeah.
Like in the corner. And it's annoying. And I was telling my sisters, like, oh, something about gut health. Or she didn't say gut health. She like yogurt. But I thought yogurt meant you apply it topically.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had it sitting, yogurt sitting on top of my potato chip cut sore.
Oh, that's so awkward.
And
it's
then
like
eventually my sister was like, you're supposed to eat it. And I was like, well, that's a huge, I was just like, I was feeling embarrassed being like, I'm sitting in my apartment with yogurt slightly on my face for about 5 minutes.
People always, I know, that's, don't mind me. People always tell you weird stuff to do with yogurt. That's another one where it's like, yeast infection, like just put yogurt. It's
in
like,
your
no,
underwear.
I'm not going to be wearing like a yogurt diaper. That's not from a doctor.
Sorry, I don't know why I'm having like, I'm just thinking holistic medicine. I don't believe in it.
I know.
I just feel like anytime I'm like, okay, maybe see if I can fix this holistically or with food or something. It never works out. And then when I go to the doctor, they give you a shot and then it clears up in 5 minutes. And you're like, why didn't I do this in the very beginning?
Go to the doctor. I know. I love when people, you like get a UTI. That's the worst one. And I do have a bit about this because you can't cure it on your own, but you always like try to because it's like so embarrassing to be like, man, well, I'm peeing blood a little bit. And they're like, why could it be? And you're like, I guess I'm a slut.
Yeah.
I guess I got rammed, you know? But I always like try to cure it. I'm like, I'll just drink a gallon of water and then it'll go away. And then it's just slowly getting worse.
Yeah.
Just go to the doctor.
Or I just like deal with the symptoms rather than the actual thing. So I just get Urostat that makes me pee out orange Gatorade.
Yeah, the Azo. Like, you're like, hey, it's fine. Meanwhile, your kidneys are like rotting. Now, they do say that UTIs, because I did have like a little brief period where I was getting them chronically. They do say that UTIs actually sometimes they will go away on their own. They don't always turn into like necrosis of the kidneys, but you go online and you look and it's like
worst case scenario.
It's like, get to the doctor, bitch. You're like, okay. But yeah, I've been like really struggling with this whole past year. I've been like, I don't want to go on a restrictive diet, but you know, I want to eat what I want, but I'm still not eating the right stuff and I'm not feeling good. And now it's just kind of got to a place where I've been on the road a lot, and I've been eating candy every night.
On the road is horrible because you're not hungry before the show because you've got a slight anxiety going on.
Yeah, and then it's like sometimes you don't want to eat the food at the club because like who knows?
Cheese sticks.
It's cheese sticks.
And then afterwards, you're fucking starving, and the only thing that's open for you is a gas station.
Yes.
Or a
7-Eleven.
Yeah. Or the hotel little bodega that they have is just like chips and like a burrito that you can put in a microwave.
Yes, I had a night like that where I was at a theater. It was like they had nothing. I went from the theater to the hotel. I'm in the middle of nowhere, and I was just like, I guess I just had a fruit bar and then I had a chocolate bar, and I was like, that was my dinner, baby. I just passed out, and it's on the road. It's like anything goes on the road. I'm only going to Nashville in a couple weeks, so like I'll have to deal with that then. But I just decided to like put the hammer down on myself as part of my spring cleanse. I'm cleaning my life. I'm doing the 21-day sugar detox. I'm just gonna fucking do it. And it's not a restrictive diet. It's actually not a restrictive diet where it's like, yes, you're not eating sugar, you're not eating any refined carbs, and bread is my love. But I have
It's your true love.
I just have to do it because I have to get over this hump of like, I get it to a point where like I literally need to have candy every single night. And if I don't,
love candy.
I love chocolates. I need it before the show. I need it after the show.
Yeah.
I'm on the way to the show. I'm like getting a cookie. You know, it's just like, and then I'm eating it and I'm like, this doesn't even This isn't even filling the hole.
Yeah, I'd have that. I'll get the candy and I'll have like the first 2 little pieces are great. And then after that, I'm like eating because I just like the texture of it. And then I'm just like this. I
don't feel good.
Yeah. My insides are rotting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your body's like, no, we don't want this. Sugar has no benefit to you other than sometimes you do need to emotionally eat a little bit. But I just end up like leaning on it like it's my crutch, and then like the only thing I'm looking forward to the entire day is like eating a piece of cake.
Yes. Sometimes I'm like, I should just smoke a cigarette.
Just smoke a cigarette. Like just try something out of the box.
Yeah.
Because I just lean on it so hard. And I was really trying to do a thing like this whole year so far. I've really been trying to do like not restricting, not like, and now it's just turning into me having no boundaries where it's like anything I want, I just have. And it's like, well, this isn't really the right thing to do either. I'm like, you know, like we did that whole episode of me, like my gentle detox, which was like eating McDonald's. You know? I'm like, well, my body needs it.
But it is like, I know what you mean. Like, I don't want to go back to restrictive. It's awful. It's not. And also I'm like, well, I only probably have 30 more years left on this life. And there's actually a shit ton of food I want to try out.
Yeah.
And we live in a city too. I realize there's so many places I haven't even come close to thinking about going.
Foods,
we went to this really amazing bakery and I didn't even know it existed. And apparently it's like the bakery to go to.
I want to go there. I'm going to go there after my detox.
Yes.
That's my first place I'm going to go.
I can't highly recommend it. I will find out and I'll put it somewhere.
Yes. Send it to me. I'll put it in the show notes.
Okay.
Check out the show notes on ladyjourney.org/blog. We put all the show notes on there and we do tons and tons of fun stuff. So my sugar detox, I've committed to it. And this is the way I get through it because it's 21 days, no sugar, no refined carbs. You can have a little rice. You also have no fruit. You do not have fruit. You can have a little green apple a day or a little like green tipped banana a day. So it's like not a lot. But there's tons of vegetable options. There's tons of brines. There's tons of, you can have cheese. I'm not going to be like leaning on cheese too much. Like the first time I did it, I was literally eating like a block of like blue cheese like a day. You know, just like eating the... But I try to do, like, you could have nuts. I try to use it as a time of, instead of getting into the mindset of feeling restricted, and I think this is key to, like, getting through the entire 21 days, I just use it as a time of, like, this is actually more of a time for me to connect with myself, try out different foods that I have not tried out before, get back into some of the foods. Like I love olives. I love pickles. I love all that briny stuff.
Salty.
I love it. I never eat it because I'm like, my go-to for like comfort is just sugar, you know? Getting back into like these amazing salads, getting back into, cooking some stuff for myself, meal prepping, salmon, those really good foods that I'm just kind of ignoring, like running towards sugar all the time.
Yes. Well, because like grains and pastas are so easy to go to. It's easy to prepare. They're really cheap and they go a long distance.
Yes. And you just get into like a rut where you're like, oh, let's just have pasta again. It's just the easiest thing, like pasta and a jar of pesto.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, then later you're feeling like that wasn't really the right meal that my body needed. When I have protein at every meal, my personality changes. I'm a different person.
Really?
When I first did the sugar detox, I did it first in 2019 in the summer, and I had like low shows that week. So I was like, I'm just going to really commit to it because I was in this bad pattern of like, again, having candy like multiple times a day where it's like, okay, I don't want to be restrictive, but I think we can all agree that that's the wrong move.
Yeah.
I'm like, I won't be held down by society.
Yeah. I'm going to eat a bag of Reese's every day.
Yeah, that's my truth. But I like had less shows. I scheduled less shows. I was scheduling like special things for myself that it's like, okay, after the first week, I get a pedicure.
Yes.
Things that are pleasurable, that are not sugar related, and, celebrating the tiny milestones. I spent a lot of time on the mindset. I did the mindset of like, I'm doing something awesome for myself. I'm not feeling restricted. I'm feeling like I can eat any food from this whole huge list.
Yeah.
I can have any of that, and I can have as much as I want, and I can have it whenever I want. And I started eating way more protein, and I had been eating so much carbs, so much sugar that every time I would eat, I would just feel ravenously hungry. And then once I started eating more protein and like fats and stuff, I just felt like, oh, my mood was better. I felt like more full. I felt like better energy, and I had mental clarity like I had never had before.
Well, don't they? And I don't know who they is, but I'm just saying the general.
They.
But like, you know, when you work in an office, and this actually happens in life too, but I always felt it most in office. Around 2 or 3, I would get so tired.
Yes.
And I always suspected was because I was eating like carbs in the morning.
Yeah, carbs in the morning are tough because it spikes your blood sugar and then it plummets.
Yeah, somebody told me like eating like an apple is better because at least the fiber helps with the digestive with the sugar.
Yeah.
So then that gives you a little bit of energy.
Yeah. I mean, I used to eat tons of like cereal and stuff. I was a big cereal, and I love cereal.
I had a week of cereal. I hadn't had cereal in so long because out of principle, I always thought it was way too expensive for what it is.
Oh, especially now.
Yeah.
It's like $10 for like 16 ounces of cereal.
I know. So I got cornflakes this week.
Oh, God,
but
so crispy.
I eat 2 to 3 bowls in the morning.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Oh, God.
Not good to do. That's how you you're like, why am I gaining a pound a week now?
A pound of corn.
I'm just like eating a bag of feed on my face.
But cornflakes, that's the thing with cereal. It's like if you have 1 bowl of cereal, that's an eating disorder. I'm sorry. That is not a proper serving. You just eat until you feel full. And I love any cereal with like Greek yogurt. Just,
yeah,
so crispy. But
it's the texture I like.
Yeah, but you can do like other things. You can do other things that are like that. Like I love cereal. So like for the 21-day sugar detox, like sometimes I'll do like, what if I do like a little tiny bit of quinoa, tiny bit of chia seeds, tiny bit of like crushed up almonds, sunflower seeds, and I make that, and I put like a little butter, cook it in the oven, make it like a granola, and then you can have coconut, put some shredded coconut on it, and it's like, there you go. Yeah. It's almost the same thing, and you're getting the same feeling out of it, and you're feeling better all over.
Yeah, and it's got like that good texture. I don't know why, but I love texture with food.
Oh, me too. Yeah. Oh, I had these little chocolate bunnies last night, which, you know, again, I won't be having. Oh, so silky. So silky. It is.
Texture with that is huge. But I think it is hard. Sometimes I'm like wondering when I reach for sugar, is it an emotional thing?
It always is an emotional thing for me. And I think it probably has to do a little bit too with like having maybe not the best gut health, which I'm kind of getting on the other side of now. Like my body is so used to just seeking comfort in sugar. It's such an emotional, because every night I want to watch TV and I want to have my little nibbles. Yes. And that like becomes my pattern. And then if I can't have the nibbles, then I just feel angry. And it's like, well, here comes the fucking spiral.
Because I couldn't get what I wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not where I want to be in my life, and I'm not satisfied by these sprouts. I'm like eating alfalfa, like, oh, this is a nibble. No, it's not. It's sad.
Oh, God, when you're eating a substitute and pretending.
Oh, no, that's not the way to go. That's a psycho's way. But there are so many, actually, and I would recommend if anybody's interested in trying this, the 21-day sugar detox. This is like an actual diet. And one of the reasons that I got on it is because they have a food list where there's tons of food that you can eat. Yeah. Tons of veggies. You can have coconut flour. You can have anything not related. You can bake with almond flour. Like
I've done that. It's not bad. I've made scones and blueberries that way, and it was wonderful.
Totally. And it's like you can. Yeah, the almond flour is a lot, but you can stay on the path of like keeping yourself sugar free and still enjoying that food. I'm like, okay, I don't want to have a piece of bread, so I'm not gonna have like a carrot and like pretend it's a bread.
At psycho,
you know, it's not. You're not doing yourself any favors.
No, it's just sad.
It's just sad, and you hate yourself, and you hate it. But just you can have almond flour, coconut flour, zucchini bread. Tastes great. Put a little, cheese on there, a little butter, and you can have other things that you love. Like I love almond butter. Yeah, love it.
That's really good, just like eating it with like celery or something.
Oh, yum.
Definitely.
The other thing I do to keep myself on track, which I will be gearing up, is I force myself to watch big sugar documentaries about how like the sugar industry is like
ruining
perverted
the world.
us. Yeah.
Well, it is.
It is.
And I become like a maniac. People don't you know what it is? I become one of those people that will ruin your day by being like, well, it's sugar.
It's sugar, big sugar. They want us to be on it because it also makes you, when you're not feeling good and you're not feeling clarity, you're just like, well, I'm just a cog in the wheel.
Yes.
Just going to work, going home,
And
buying more stuff.
You feel like because you're down, you need more sugar.
Yeah.
No, it's weird because you look at recipes from like, let's say like the 1950s.
Yeah.
It's wild. Like people, they were.
It's like lard.
Lard, yeah. Or eating like a baked potato. And then we're acting like you can't have any of that. And like, remember like sugar-free.
Yeah. Oh, that's the worst.
Snackwells. And
Oh my
you're
God.
like, we were eating that thinking we were losing weight.
Yeah. And meanwhile, you're just like getting cancer from like, it's like,
You're like,
droxyhydroline.
Yeah. It was weird.
Yeah. Just cutting out any of that, nothing. All that sugar substitute stuff it's also so bad for you too, because it's like, even if you use like a monk fruit sweetener or something, it's like, yes, it tastes like weird sugar. I don't love the flavor of it, but it's like you're still spiking your blood sugar.
Yeah.
And you're going to crave it again. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, it's so bad for you.
It was like Diet Coke, which is like my
I love it.
choice.
I love
and
it.
I do love it, but I think I've actually stopped drinking it
Yeah.
as much because I was thinking it doesn't make you feel good afterwards.
You just feel gross. And I think a lot of times, like when I eat sugar, I immediately feel gross afterwards. I want sugar until I feel sick. I just
Yes.
want more. And then I'm like, ugh. And then my mouth, it just tastes terrible. You know, so it's like, it's definitely not good for you. But when I have done this sugar detox in the past, at the end of it, well, I'll check in with you in a few weeks when
with
I'm
your
done.
new colors.
Yeah, with my new colors.
I'm so excited.
It's going to be a new me. It's going to be a whole new me. But when I get to the end of it, I'm like, oh, I never want to eat sugar again. I totally like see the light. And then I'm always like, man, maybe a little, you know,
Yeah, or
just
you
have a
see
little cookie.
one pastry and you're like, oh, I'll just nibble.
But if you reset, I mean, even if you recalibrate and you're like, okay, I can have a little pastry now and not be like going home with a box of donuts.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, like that was how last week was of like, we had a guest, and of course I'm just like not buying groceries or cooking because it's just time consuming.
Yeah.
So we just like ordered takeout or pizza, but then it just kept happening.
Yeah.
And you get in that mindset, you're like, all right, this will just be that week. And then you just go. And then sometimes I find myself in 2 weeks of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, once it gets like hard to stop the ball rolling, especially if you're on the road. That happens to me when I'm on the road. I'm eating out every single night. And then I'm like, I don't eat smoothies that I made in my kitchen, like a smoothie and an egg, like that you have like such rich food. And then like normal stuff just seems like disgusting and plain.
Yes.
I'm like, an egg, a boiled egg. I don't eat peasants' food. I eat steak.
Yeah. I have salads and apps with me.
Yes. At all times.
No, it's
But yeah, it's time to rejuvenate. Spring rejuvenation.
Absolutely.
This is my journey.
Yes.
Now you're on a journey of hosting.
Hosting.
Yes.
So spring's happening. Summer's around the corner.
It's time for those get-togethers.
Yeah, get-togethers are going to be happening a lot more. I have this thing of like, when I have a get-together, I like them small.
Yes.
Large, you start separating the group.
People go into their own cliques if it's too big.
Yes, and I prefer like one. If we're at a table, we like one table talk.
Yes. There
is nothing worse than a table and then somebody pulls you away from the fun.
Oh God! And then they're commandeering you and they're just talking your ear off in the corner.
And then you can hear everybody else enjoy the one table talk that you wanted to enjoy.
Yes.
And I'm not saying these people are bad, and they're not even people that I don't enjoy. I really do like them, but you're like, there is a thing that I have with friends hanging with where I'm like, can we keep the conversation where we're all in it?
Keep it to the group, because it's such like a magical dynamic when you get like the right group of people and you're having that like fun time together. And then it's like now
light
I'm just
disagreements and it's joking and like nobody's feelings are getting hurt, but we're all just like talking about a topic. Like what, a great one right now is the Will Smith, Chris Rock
people
debacle.
Love it. Yeah.
People love it.
People love
the best thing to happen to a hang in ages.
Oh, everyone's got an opinion.
You know what it reminded me of? And it reminded me, it's a scandal we can all get involved that's really kind of lightly harmless, even though I did think it was pretty fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But it was
Yeah.
like the college scandal situation.
Yes. It's like a fun thing to chat about,
it's-
and nothing that's like going to trigger anyone, like the war in Ukraine. It's like, can we stop talking about that? Let's just pretend it's not happening because it's very upsetting.
It is, and there's like, it feels like there's nothing we can do about it except watch from afar, and then
Except for go to a Ukrainian restaurant and like take a TikTok of yourself. You can support Ukraine by eating at Veselka, which I did.
yes,
I ordered blintzes. I'm doing my part.
I know. You really do feel helpless in these situations.
Yes.
But yeah, there's nothing better than getting involved in like a fun zeitgeisty conversation or
Yes.
like a
Little
light
riffing,
scandal of the
little
now.
riffing, yeah.
Yes. But there's also, and this happens in family hangs and stuff like that, or like when you really want to have a friend come over, but I get worried of like, what if there's nothing to talk about and there's like silence?
Yeah.
So I like to at least like come over and watch this shitty TV show with me. I'll make a
Yes.
little spread like we did an
Yes.
Oscar
That was
hang
so
together.
fun. Yeah.
We can tweet. Sometimes I think podcasting is my way of tricking people to come.
I love it.
Hang
it's
out.
The perfect. It's the perfect. We're doing work, but we're also friends.
Yes, we're
It's
having
the
a good
perfect
time.
thing. It's a built-in friend. Yeah.
Absolutely. But there are times where I'm like, I would love to hear suggestions of like what to do. I like
Yes.
light games like a cornhole.
Oh yes, I love a cornhole.
I'm into I like card games. Like I remember my friend Ashley Brooke Roberts, very funny comic. She set up a girl comic and we played like spades and another
That's
game.
fun. Oh,
And
that was
that-
for her birthday one year. I think I remember
Yeah.
hearing about that. Oh, that's
Um,
so fun.
And that was really fun. But then there are times where you're like, what are we doing?
What are we doing? Everybody comes over, and then
It's
if you're hosting,
stressful.
you're like, oh my god, no one's talking.
Yes.
Yeah. I do really want to host something this year because we have the little garden space, and then I have my birthday. I want to do something like the thing that you described of Ashley's stuff is like female comedians playing board games.
Yes.
I want to do something like that, but I want to do like maybe like a tea party, small. I think small is so key, where it's like you just don't have multiple different cliques of people there, because then those people just isolate themselves.
Yes.
And then, the other people are it's so tricky, but I think like I really want to have like movie night. Movie night is such a good one where it's like
I like a movie night.
popcorn, you hang out before the movie. Like we went to the Super Bowl again this year. Like that's the perfect thing too, where it's like lovely little spread.
And if
like,
you're not into the Super Bowl, at least it's like the spread is there.
spread is
You can tweet about it and
yeah.
joke about the commercials. There is a lot more that you can enjoy if you're not. I don't really care for football.
Yeah.
I think it's boring. But like you can enjoy the hang of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cultural event.
Something like a book club, but there's no book.
There's no
There's no book. The book is something
Just kidding,
different.
guys.
Yeah.
There's no book.
Surprise.
We last summer, Joe's uncle, we watched Jaws on a projector on the garage outside,
Oh,
and
that's
I was
really
like,
fun.
that was a fun moment. So I'd like. Those are things that you're like, what else is there to do?
Yeah. Especially when you have like your like New York City apartment where you're like, oh, it's small.
It's small, but you can have maybe like 4 or 5 people come over, and
yeah.
then like I love food, but I've been keeping it real simple. Like sometimes I'll just make a easy pre-dish kind of thing and then
Yeah.
order pizzas.
Yeah, because you also get when you do like a
expensive.
party like that, then it just ends up turning into like a wedding scenario where you're like, I have to have catering, and it's like,
Yeah.
this is way too much. I love the park hangs. I love the park hangs that you guys are doing, where it's like the park is like a thing, it's
Yeah.
like a vibe. You like
yes.
people are out. There's other stuff to do. Everybody brings a blanket. Everybody brings a snack. A little chill.
Somebody has can jam. That's a fun one. I
Yes.
like, and not
People love
you
can
don't
jam.
have to all partake. It's just like a side thing to take a breather from maybe someone that's difficult in the group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone's like being argumentative about the slap. You're like, I'm playing touch football now.
No, I know. That's the thing. It's also like it's hard because like, and I think most people have the different friend groups.
Yes.
And I think mixing friend groups is really stressful. And that was hard when we were doing the
Yeah.
wedding. Because Joe and I have I actually don't really care how atrocious your political beliefs are as long as you're not being confrontational.
Oh God, just keep it to yourself, for God's sakes.
But
on
there-
either side, it's like we're at a wedding.
Absolutely. Like, we can find common ground, but there are a few of those comics that like
Yeah.
debate. And
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but we have to be like, can you fucking chill out
Yeah.
for this moment? In our wedding, we purposely sat them with a group of people that we knew that they wouldn't do that
Little
with.
small echo chamber.
Yeah.
I like that you have to break everybody up in the wedding by their ideology, where it's like, okay, you guys can talk about Animal Farm.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
don't know.
God.
I love that we had 5 echo chambers happening at our wedding.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, a big event like a wedding, it's like, that's all taken care of, at least with like the wedding ceremony and the activities. But no, I totally appreciate that. Like, I do want to organize some hangs this summer, but it feels so daunting because it's like, what is this even organized around? Snacks,
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe for my birthday, I would maybe have a select group of women go to Lady Mendel's, which is a tea salon in my
Ooh.
neighborhood. It's very expensive. It's like $75 for tea.
I
But
don't
it's
mind
like,
that.
you know what? For fun, 4 people one time. Everyone can, bring $80. You're fine.
Yeah,
you know?
that's no biggie. That's still like less than probably like a night out
Yeah, drinking. Yeah,
drinking and going to like a nice restaurant. We did when Lindsay was here. She found a tea place because she likes to do that. We found one on Steinway.
Oh, I know that one.
It's
Prince Tea. Yeah, I've been to the one like that in the East Village, and I was like, wow, this is really overpriced.
It was, and I felt like it wasn't like their finger sandwiches were like more like crostinis, and I wanted the finger sandwiches and more of
Yeah.
it. The desserts were okay, and the tea was good, but I thought the presentation was like not great. And I've heard the Four Seasons has one.
Ooh.
And I think there's a few other places in New York City that really do it up well.
I took my girlfriend to one
But
once.
so
At
fun.
the Pierre. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I will do it. I need to just do like something simple and easy for my birthday that's like totally doable. Instead
Yeah.
of like I go off in my mind and I'm like, this is the year I spend $8,000 and invite 30 women to an open bar. And then I'm like, that's my money for my IRA.
And you can't have any of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, I know exactly what you mean by that. It's like one of my favorite fantasies to live in of like this, and I will be wearing a kaftan.
Yes.
And I'll be walking down
host-
from the stairwell.
Yeah.
And they will be there before I will.
I make an entrance. Yes. I know. It's such like a rich woman fantasy of like hosting a party. And it's like,
Absolutely.
oh, anywhere in New York, it's like, yeah, that's $1,000 for the space.
Yeah.
Even just for the space. And you're like, okay, I have to go.
Yeah, it's not even worth it. And then I have those fantasies, and then the day of, and like we had it for Christmas or whatever, you're just like, it's not realistic.
It's not realistic. And then also it's like, I did have a big birthday party for my 30th birthday, and I remember it went so badly. I had a show. My boyfriend at the time was hosting the show. He kept being sweaty. I wasn't sure. He was like running out. He was running back. He was secretly getting me a cake. Meanwhile, he's bombing, like hosting the show. None of my true friends could come to the party, so it was just like
Always.
Facebook overflow.
Yeah.
And then by the time I went on at the show, like half of the crowd had walked. And it was like, this was a nightmare. And I didn't want to do this. And now my birthday feels terrible. It feels like going into 30 now. It was just like, well, is this going to be a nightmare, I guess?
Is this a precursor to what to expect?
Yeah.
Low key's always better unless you
Low-key.
have expendable income.
In
and
which
this is
case,
no
go
big,
for it.
Yeah, and MTV is producing it. And
Well,
then fucking
right.
do it up,
Do
dude.
it up and wear that caftan. I am planning something for Mike's birthday, too, because it's his 50th birthday.
What do you do for a guy?
For-
Poker?
I know. Well, I think I had pitched this to him because I was talking with a few other different comics, closer friends of his, and I thought, like, okay, what if I just get a huge house, right? Like, just get a huge house up in, like, somewhere close to New York, but doable, like Woodstock,
That
you know?
it won't be that 40 minutes to come back into the city or something.
Easy. But if I get a big house and I invite, like, you and Joe were on the list, Ari and Chrissy, Dan and Katie, maybe Jay and Christine, like 4 couples and us, so 10 people. Everybody has a bedroom. We get like one of the ones with all the bathrooms, and we just like have a weekend there and like cooking food. And the more and more I was thinking about it, I was like, this is a nightmare. This is an utter nightmare, and it's never going to work, and I'm going to get to it the day of and be like, why did I fucking do this? I'm cooking the whole time, and I'm, like, trying to host, and everyone's like, what are we doing now? We're just, like, in the house now? Like, what are we doing even?
I think it will be fine.
I think it's going to be, well, Mike kind of said he doesn't want to do that because he thinks it's just going to be, like, too much, but he said, like, steak dinner.
Steak dinner. Good. Get people like a
restaurant,
reservation.
Get a reservation, do the invitations, and then steak dinner.
I love
Easy.
a steak dinner.
Love it. And it's classy, and I think it'll be like the same group of people at like, you know, whatever, Smith and Wolinski or something. Where it's like, who doesn't want to go out for like a nice steak dinner on a Sunday?
Nobody.
You know, it's perfect. So I think that's what we decided on. And it's just so much easier than like being like, did you guys bring your swimsuits? 3 p.m. We're going for a dip. 4, we're going on a hike, you know.
Or like any allergies, and then now they can order off a menu and make their own choices. You don't have to be involved in whatever they're going through right now. It's easier.
It's so easier.
Just
I think
make it easy for yourself.
Make it easy. Yeah. But I do want to do I want to make the dinner still special, you know. So I am open to, if any journeyers out there, if you have like an idea of like birthday party, you know, a small dinner party table game, something fun, like nothing like, I don't know, I hate trivia, I hate that type of stuff, but I love like
feel inadequate,
you know. And me too.
Yeah,
I know, I'm spiraling. I'm like, Star Trek, I mean, who's the time, who has the time? But I love, like, did you ever do like an exquisite corpse? This is like a fun little creative hang one. No, I think for one prom, we did one of those like murder mystery dinners. Oh, that's fun.
And it was fun. I'm actually kind of game. As much as I make fun of them, escape rooms, something ridiculously to bring. Even if it's shitty, we can all enjoy the shit moment and laugh about it.
I do think that would be fun. I would do a bachelorette escape room.
Yeah.
That would be fun. Well, the exquisite corpse is like the one where like you do the story, right? You know what I'm talking about? You do the story and you fold it over. So the person, you read one line that the person in front of you wrote, then you write another line to the story, and then you fold it over so the next person only reads your line.
No, I've never done that, but I feel like that is something that would make me laugh really hard.
Yeah, and then you read it and it's just like goofy and nonsensical.
Yeah, like Mad Libs almost. Yeah.
It's hard to like force that stuff on people though, when you're like, everyone's talking and you're like, excuse me, I've planned 5 activities and we will get through them.
Well, I will tell you, there is something in my brain that goes off when somebody goes, do you guys want to play a game? And I'm like this, no,
because it's
but I do enjoy myself.
Yeah, it becomes a power dynamic of like, I am the leader of the group now.
And now I'm back to, well, I guess I will take my following. I'm just a follower in this group. And
I'm a sheep.
Yeah, and all of my ideas are shit now.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then it always seems to be like, I don't want to get up.
Yeah.
Now we have to choose teams.
Yeah.
So it always feels like a bigger ordeal. But I can get into like card games. I like Bananagram, something that's like fast and you can do it again.
Yeah.
Right afterwards. Or
that's fun.
One of our most recent hangs, it was raining and we couldn't do anything. It was in Key West, and our friend Tom and his girlfriend Kristen, we just played. It was like 20 guesses, and we would just choose a celebrity or something in literature or any pop culture, and you had to ask questions to lead up to it. And we did that for hours.
It's fun. I swear, like we could have done with something like that in Aruba, where it was just like the same people every night. We're going to dinner, then we're getting drinks, and then it's like we're just running out of stuff to talk about.
It was that, and then especially in the group that we have, and I don't think this is any different than any kind of social gathering, especially in a small group where everybody has a similar background. Not that I have any problem, and I do indulging in like some kind of light shit talking or whatever you want to call it that's not super toxic.
Yes, then it goes back to that, and you're like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah, or we'll end up talking about cancel culture again ad nauseum, that you're like, that's what I don't want happening in a hang. You're like, I do enjoy it, but it becomes like this weird scab that we're all picking.
Oh, absolutely.
That you want to keep it to be more like a party atmosphere, and that's what my stress happens with a group gathering, is to make sure we don't fall in our toxic habit.
Yes, you're like, put the movie on. Put the movie on. Yes, I love that. You know what kind of hang I would love to go to, although this does still need an element of, another diversion, I think. But like one I have not been to in a long time is a potluck. And I know they were like kind of going extinct because of COVID. But I love, oh my God, a potluck where everybody, you have to, and it's not like these comedians, it's like, oh, bringing a bag of chips. No, bitch. You don't bring a bag of chips.
No.
You make a casserole with your hands. Or you get it from a restaurant, and then you just get a little tiny bit of everything, and you just feel like a queen at a little buffet.
And then explain it, because this is like a dish that sometimes that they really liked, or in their family.
Yes, and just hearing their story. Yeah.
Yes.
Meanwhile, like I'm usually the person making something, and then I'm like bullying people to eat it. Like at your Christmas hang, I'm like, Ronan, did you have my persimmon pudding? Like, you took a kind of a small piece, I thought. That was weird that you didn't eat that much.
Yeah, like you're just confronting people. No, I remember one year I made mac and cheese because I just feel like that's easy and everybody loves it. But I think it gave quite a bit of people in the group diarrhea.
Whoopsie.
Hi.
Sorry. I know that's the danger of a potluck. That is the danger of a potluck. You're like, ooh, chili con queso. Like, that's a tricky one. There's raw meat.
Yes. Well, I remember I had one hang with Ari and Mike and Joe when we were in Utah after they did a Vegas run.
Mm-hmm.
And we were all cooking, and I was like, oh, kebabs are easy, but I think I cut the chicken on a weird bias.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a texture thing, and I think Mike cut into it, and I felt so bad. He's like, I can't eat this.
Oh.
But it was because the way the chicken was cut, I totally understood, because you can do that with fish.
Yeah.
Something about
you get the stringy bits.
the vein or something.
Ooh, yeah.
It becomes too earthy in there. So that was something that, like, you're like, whoops, I made somebody coil in disgust.
Oh, my God. Should have gone to a restaurant.
Yes.
I know. Well, this has been Lady Journey.
Guys, Lady Journey, give us tips or like what you like to do in an easy hang that people enjoy.
Yeah, send us your little game ideas. And I swear to God, if we get to 100 Patreons, we will host a potluck.
Yes.
We will do it.
I would love to go to your city, whatever city where Lady Journey is highly concentrated at.
Yes.
And do a fucking potluck.
Do a potluck, do a live pod. Just enjoy everyone.
Yes.
Love it. Play some games.
Lady Journey.
Bye.